All right, the DOJ is arguing it doesn't need a special master to review material seized from the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago, as it accuses the Trump team of removing and concealing documents or indicated so much. It comes as a top FBI agent resigns amid allegations of bias related to the Hunter Biden probe, an accusation he now denies and said he wasn't even on the case. Here to react, Dan Bongino, the host of Unfiltered with Dan Bongino. Dan, first, your reaction to the revelations coming forward about what was or what wasn't in Mar-a-Lago.
Well, let me just say first, you know what I like about working here is there's a lot of different people with a lot of different opinions, even on the couch. I disagree strongly with people at the network who want to default to trusting the FBI, because I asked the question, Brian, I'll ask, I'm not suggesting this is you, of course, but why would you trust the FBI when it comes to Trump? Can you give me a reason?
None.
Anyone? Where have they shown, okay, thank you.
Zero.
Where have they shown any documented history of unbiased, nonpartisan, law enforcement type activity with that? The answer is in no Trump case ever. So your default defense of the FBI is outrageous. Let me just give you a few. Let's go through the list of people. And let me give you another argument. So first, we got to trust the FBI. No, we don't have to trust the FBI. No, I don't. You want to trust the FBI? Good luck. You have no record to back that up, but you trust the FBI. Then you say, well, it's just a few bad apples. Is it? Let's just go to the list of names of people who've been involved in either alleged corruption or documented corruption at the FBI. We got Jim Comey, Andy McCabe, Bill Priestap. I had to write this down so I didn't forget them all. Jim Baker, Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, Stephen Soma, Joe Pianka, Kevin Kleinsmith, Brian Auten, Tim Tebow, and those are just the people you know about. Some alleged, some documented. Granted, everybody's innocent till proven guilty. I accept that. But it's not one bad apple. It's a rotten orchard. So in regards to the open here you had, where you said, listen, the DOJ saying we don't need a special master to review this. Just trust us. We'll review it ourselves with the FBI.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to take a hard pass on that because we trusted you in the past and you told us there was a PP tape, Russian collusion, and a DNC hack, and you've backed up absolutely none of that. Right. So I'm going to give them a big 0 on the credibility scale.
And Dan, let's talk about the lives they ruined. Remember who they put Papadopoulos into jail, Manafort into solitary. They ruined Michael Flynn. Remember what they did to what they did even to
Navarro, Cohen.
And with Navarro, he's going to have a hearing even today. So you have all his CFO of his company. So I'm not saying the FBI has something to do with that, but these investigations have been nonstop. And then you have Tebow today, who have whistleblowers in the FBI blow the whistle on him. He happens to decide, I'm going to retire. He gets walked out on Friday and then says, by the way, that was the Baltimore office that did the investigation and suppression of the laptop, not me. I'm pretty sure we can't give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's look at this raid in particular. If I am the FBI and I'm the Department of Justice and I'm so confident that the president was so egregious, we had to storm the gates after waiting for 3 weeks and 3 days with this warrant. If I'm so confident, I'd welcome the special master. Get me out of it.
Yeah.
You check it out. But that's the picture we're looking at right now.
Yeah, I love the pictures they're showing there, too, top secret covers. Top secret covers are covers. And you're assuming, by the way, taking the, I get it, a lot of it's blacked out, redacted. I'm not stupid. But here's the point here. You know, I dealt with a lot of classified material in the Secret Service, too, like motorcade routes. And then, Brian, I've got news for you. After the motorcade route is run and 100,000 people saw the motorcade route, it's not classified anymore. I'm not telling you those documents aren't classified because I'm not a leftist media loser who jumps to conclusions. I'm simply telling you, jumping to the conclusion and assuming the FBI's story and the DOJ that it is classified is equally dumb. Not to mention there's precedent here, right? We deal with legal precedent. There's a 2012 case everybody conveniently leaves out, Judge Amy Berman Jackson, in a Clinton case where he allegedly had classified documents, where Judge Jackson said the president has the sole discretion, that's a quote, to manage his own records and to say what's personal and what's not. That's really funny how that's left out of all of the analysis. And everybody, even some friends of mine on the network, just say, hey, it's classified. And you know that how? Oh, so you're just assuming, because again, the FBI, the PP tape FBI told you that. So you're just assuming. You don't actually know any of that. And by the way, you ignore that it's his sole discretion to leave it on. One more thing about Tebow, by the way. Tebow may be telling the truth. He may not. I'm willing to give the guy the benefit of the doubt because I'm interested in facts. But the whistleblower, if he's telling the truth, he's risking his job by saying what Tebow did. Tebow, by lying, could save his job. So when you look at a balance of motives, you need to keep that in your mind. Tebow needs to lie to keep his job. He may be telling the truth, he may not. But the whistleblower could lose his job by telling the truth and saying, hey, here's what happened at the FBI. So let's be careful before we jump to Tebow's
And then I'll add something else.
here.
If I'm an FBI agent, I would love to feel secure with my management to go, hey, listen, I got a huge problem with what's happening here. But I didn't go to Christopher Wray. I went to Senator Ron Johnson. I went to Senator Chuck Grassley. I went to Jim Jordan. And they have their credibility on the line. Evidently, it was corroborated. In Newsweek, they say Tebow rose to public attention as one of 13 assistant special agents who was investigating Biden's laptop. He's like, no, that was done. Now his people say it was done by the Baltimore Bureau. Okay, that did something seemingly pretty unsavory to suppress information rather than pick up the phone and saying, hey, Hunter, is this your email? Hey, Devin Archer, is this your email? Can we find out the businessman on the other end of this in China, Ukraine, Russia, Romania, or whatever? Right. No effort was done. Suppression was made. A year and a half later, we find out it turns out it was true. And the fact is that even Bill Maher brings it up and says, guys, is he really that bad? We had to suppress his story in order to get him elected, and he didn't vote for him. So I think it's to see the big picture, and I'd like to see the FBI fight it out in front of us so we could find out who's right. Appreciate it.
I'm just asking people to balance equities here. You've got Mark Zuckerberg saying the FBI pressured them about Russian disinformation. 50 deep staters sign a letter making the story go away. Big tech suppresses the story, and a whistleblower says the FBI suppressing the story. And you've still got people in the media like, nah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure I believe it. Well, it's because you don't want to believe it. That's why. You got to view it as an investigator, not as a partisan sometimes, and the truth will come to light.
And the genius actually retweeted some social media that shows exactly where he stood, same as Peter Strzok's text messages and Lisa Page. Dan, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Make sure to watch your show on Saturday night at 9 o'clock. Dan Bongino, Unfiltered.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.